Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims. Today we are going to nerd out just a bit on St. Thomas Aquinas, but don't panic. Hopefully I can explain things in layman's terms, but regardless, it's good to stretch our minds a bit. Let's read from Book 11, Chapter 4 on page 256. Earth and the heavens are before our eyes. The very fact that they are there proclaims that they were created, for they are subject to change and variation. Whereas if anything exists that was not created, there is nothing in it that was not there before. And the meaning of change and variation is that something is there which was not there before. Earth and the heavens also proclaim that they did not create themselves. We exist, they tell us, because we were made. And this is proof that we did not make ourselves, for to make ourselves we should have had to exist before our existence began. And the fact that they plainly do exist is the voice which proclaims this truth. It was you then, O Lord, who made them, you who are beautiful, for they too are beautiful, you who are good, for they too are good, you who are, for they too are. But they are not beautiful and good as you are beautiful and good, nor do they have their being as you, their Creator, have your being. In comparison with you, they have neither beauty nor goodness nor being at all. This we know, and thanks be to you for this knowledge. But our knowledge, compared with yours, is ignorance. So if you were talking to an atheist, you don't want to talk to them about the saints, about Mary, about the sacraments, or even about Jesus. I mean, if they ask you about him, of course you can tell them that. But if you're having a debate about God, the first thing you need to do is talk with them about the fact of whether or not there is a God. Now, we know that Jesus is God, but you have to get to Jesus at the next step. Atheists deny that God even exists, so you have to start there. St. Thomas Aquinas gives 5 proofs for God's existence that can be used to talk with atheists. And now remember, St. Thomas Aquinas came almost like 1,000 years after St. Augustine. So St. Augustine would not have had these proofs to work off of, but he can still use these ideas. He just didn't put them into a book like St. Thomas Aquinas did. But those 5 proofs are: number 1, the proof of motion; number 2, the proof of cause; number 3, the proof of contingency; number 4, the proof of degree; and 5, the proof of design. And you may be thinking, oh, Amy, not this stuff. I don't get it. And it's okay. I'm not going to talk about each one, and I'm not going to get all technical with you. There was a time when I zoned out too when hearing about St. Thomas Aquinas' 5 ways, because he's just way smarter than me, and I had no idea what he was talking about. But it can be taught. The one I'm going to focus on is the proof of design. Now let's say that you are an alien and you have lived on Mars your whole life with no other people. Just go with me here. So one day you get teleported to Earth and you land right in front of Michelangelo's statue of David. You would look at it and think, wow, someone must have created this. And you would be right. You, the alien, would see this design in front of you, and you would see that it had shape, form, purpose, and meaning. But you would also know that the statue couldn't have created itself. Someone else had to do it. Because we instinctively know, and we also rationally know, that things can't create themselves. So yes, you as the alien would rightly see that this hunk of sculpted rock needed a designer, someone who created it. Now when we look at the earth, an unintelligent, non-living thing, it has living things on it, but the earth itself is not living. We know that it couldn't have possibly designed itself or created itself. Non-living things can't make themselves exist. And because the earth looks intelligently designed, because it has purpose, it has structure, it has laws governing it, we can conclude that someone created it, and that someone is who we call God. The earth didn't just pop into existence, because that doesn't happen in nature. Things can come into existence if an eternal designer that is existence itself makes it happen, but nothing in our world does that by itself. St. Augustine says, quote, "Earth and the heavens are before our eyes. The very fact that they are there proclaims that they were created, for they are subject to change and variation. Whereas if anything exists that was not created, there is nothing in it that was not there before." Unquote. And he goes on saying that the earth and the heavens tell us we exist because we were made. And that's correct. They were designed by the great designer, and that great designer is who we call God. And this is just one way that we can know that there is a God. We can look around and see that the universe, the heavens, earth, the planets, all have been intelligently designed. And so we know that they just didn't create themselves. We know they didn't just come into existence by themselves. Something had to do it. Something had to bring them into existence. Something had to design them. Something had to create them. And so that is who we call God. So hopefully that wasn't too clunky and confusing for you, and hopefully it will be helpful as we continue on with our readings about Genesis. But that is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I'll see you tomorrow, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.